Hey, good morning, everybody, and good morning, Xbox. I'm Maxwell1324, and I am your host for today's episode. And today, guys, we are joined by a very special guest. Let's go ahead and get right into him, Mr. The Gina from the other side of the ocean. They call it the lake, but it's an ocean.
They call it the pond.
What's going on, Gina? How are you?
Yeah, the pond.
Yeah, I'm very good. Thanks for having me on. I'm a bit tired, but yeah, big fan of the show, so I'm excited to be on today.
All right, and we are happy to have you on. Can't wait to get into it. We'll go into why he's tired here in a little bit, but first, let's get to the rest of this introduction. Coolcat Terri, how are you today?
Doing fantastic.
All right, Cerebral Paul, how are you today?
Oh, doing good.
What happened to the beard?
What's that?
What happened to the beard?
I shaved,
Looking so clean. I love it.
It was a couple weeks ago that I shaved, actually. Yeah, so it's growing back out. I'm lazy. I only shave when it starts to bug me. Then I shave, and then I let it grow. And then it's.
All right, there you go. The mini faces of Cerebral Paul.
From my mother, she let her mustache grow out, then she'd get rid of it, then she,
Oh no. All right. Now that I have nightmares. Scrubners, how are you this morning?
Morning. Good to see everybody in the chat. We got panel, we got the agenda here. Let's get it started. Let's go.
All right. Speaking of everybody, let's talk about the chat. We're joined by, of course, my buddy from the Iconic Video Games Podcast, Doggy Dog 420. How's it going, Doggy? We got Timid, the Timid Bot, who is at every podcast, never misses one. Good for him. We appreciate you. We got Casket Repair. I would normally announce you, Gina, but you're here already. So, and Lethal Terminus joins us. Hey, Lethal Terminus, how are you? Now, Gina, you just finished a charity stream. Tell us why you're so tired.
Yeah, so I was up 8 o'clock yesterday morning. Started streaming 11 o'clock yesterday morning through to 11 o'clock today, UK time. It's now 2 p.m. in the UK, so I went and got about an hour and a half sleep before jumping on with you. Yeah, I'm pretty tired now.
How did the charity stream go? How'd you do?
It did well. We raised about £200, so what's that, about $230, something like that. The link is still open, and we're still taking donations. And there's people say they're going to donate later, which is good. And it's for really good causes. For an epilepsy charity called Ring 20. One of my good friends has the condition. It's like a rare form of epilepsy that causes like 30 to 40 seizures a day. But with their help, he's got it down to 3 to 4 a day, and it's changed his life basically. So it's really good.
Wow, that's an improvement, but still 3 to 4. Wow.
Yeah.
And now these seizures obviously being dangerous and all, like you say that it's changed his life through therapy. Can you tell us about some of that therapy that he's gotten?
Yeah, it's really weird how it works, but they can make him stop having seizures. So he starts to drift. If you're speaking to him, for example, and he starts to lose concentration, he'll forget what the question he was asking you was, and he'll really start thinking about what's going wrong, and that'll lead to a seizure coming on. So one of the things they used to do is give him like a pint of Coca-Cola. For some reason that works, and then they would get him to talk about things and just remind him what they were talking about, and he focuses, and it brings him away from slipping off into having a seizure. It's really bizarre how it works, but yeah, it's changed things massively for him. He lives in assisted care home, so he always lived with his mum, because if you're having that many seizures a day, you can't really move out and live on your own. Right. He has his own place now. He has a girlfriend. He's working for a living, which is amazing. And yeah, they have someone who lives in like a shared flat, if you like, or apartment, that just in case they need help.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, good for him. I'm glad he's doing better. And, shout out to you for raising money for a cause that affects someone near and close to you. So that's great.
It's the third one we've done, and I think it's the last. They're getting harder as I'm getting older, so I don't think I can do it full.
Yeah, those 24 hours staying awake get more difficult as we get older. I remember when I was young, definitely. I used to stay up for 3 days straight and not even feel it until the third day. And now I'm like up for 12 hours straight, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I need to sleep.
I had to keep swapping chairs to find one that was comfortable. Like that's how bad
You kept
his
swapping
car.
chairs?
Yeah. I had my gaming chair, and then I had to borrow my wife's office chair, and then I was on a stool because my back started hurting when I was like, I was just, yeah. If you watch the stream, it's me just turning the camera off randomly and turning up in a different chair to try and get comfortable every few hours.
Is he?
I did a 24-hour stream a couple of years ago, and I found with me, we had other ambassadors and stuff popping in because we were doing a co-stream basically. Well, a lot of us were doing 20, so we were at least in each other's earpieces, keeping each other company and playing games together to keep us alert. Because man, come about hour 20 or so, I was losing it, but thankfully somebody came in and we started playing. So yeah,
Yeah.
those streams can get long.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say, Paul, you do charity streams all the time, so
Yep.
you're no stranger to those. So yeah, we have the Gina here with his charity stream. We got our charity streamer, Mr. Cerebral Paul. Gina, if you want to put that link for that donation in the private chat, I'll go ahead and move it over to the chat, or if you just want to put it in the chat, so we can
Yeah, I'll put it in chat.
put it
Yeah,
up on
thanks for that.
screen here. We'd appreciate it. All right. With that being said, guys, let's get right into these topics. Oh, but before we get going, we got clowns in with 4 GQ TV saying the real Paul has a beard.
Yeah.
And Paul shaved again. There you go. That's exactly what we said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So first topics first. Now, this topic here is near and dear to me because I am a QA. I'm a very different type of QA than video games. I've been trying to get into video gaming QA, but it's a little different than what I do. And so, Upper Echelon Gamers YouTube channel has posted a video about the QA problems that plagued Cyberpunk 2077. And everybody knows the infamous launch date that Cyberpunk 2077 launched was just a broken mess, bugs that would explode your car, the ground would go away, you'd be flying, people would do the little T stand, all kinds of issues with Cyberpunk 2077 that nobody quite knows how it made it past QA. Right? So, Upper Echelon Gaming has received information from, I guess, is a whistleblower over Quantic Labs, who provided the QA services for Cyberpunk 2077, of where their focus was and why some of these game-breaking bugs did get past QA. So, to sum up the report, he had a whistleblower provide documents upon documents upon documents, detailing everything that was wrong with with Cyberpunk 2077's QA. Everything from requirements to find bugs, like getting a bug quota, and what a short-staffed team where it was only 30 QA testers and eventually became 60 QA testers, but nobody really was from the report, nobody was really a veteran QA. Even the most senior person only had about a year's worth of QA experience. And that the feedback that they were reporting to CD Projekt Red was just not the right kind of feedback that a real QA team should do. And it just, all these mistakes from QA, from inexperience, from quotas, which is another mistake in my professional opinion, and I can literally say professional opinion, right? And the fact that you have inexperienced QAs, my QA teams, when we come in, every time I get a new QA with or without experience, with experience is fantastic. It takes me only like a few weeks to train them, but it takes months to get them proficient. And when I get a new QA, it takes me 6 weeks to put them through the training, and again, months to get them proficient. It just takes, it's a skill set. It's not developer skill set. It's not coding skill set. You have to read the code, and trust me, you will read the most. Some of these developers write the most ridiculous code. I don't know how they made it to college, but you have to read codes and make sure they talk. And the QA to me is like a spider web. especially code. If you pull on this string, you're affecting every other string. So it takes time to learn how everything is interconnected in a code, and then learn how to start getting to the root of the issue. So I understand having inexperienced QAs, how some of this stuff could go. Now, from my understanding, they don't get into the deep code like I do, like my teams do. They're more into the surface QA, like playing the game and just seeing what they see.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
gaming QA usually is
Right.
finding a bug and being able to repeat the bug and document it and stuff like that.
Yeah, whereas my QA is more code based, where because the in a video game it's an interactive experience, and what we do is interactive, but it's interactive with a very small set of rules, so it's easier to dive into the code. It's not going to be something as large as a game. So the Quantic Lab finally responded, basically, in my opinion, given the corporate response, which is a no response to the report, saying, "Hey, we did exactly what CD Projekt Red wanted. We weren't the only ones doing it. They had their own teams. All this stuff." Basically, a non-response, to it. But the report has been so damaging to Quantic Labs that they had to respond. So good on Upper Echelon Gamers for doing such a report and bringing attention to it. So that is the general gist of this whole Quantic Labs saga. It's much larger than this. It could take up the whole episode, but I hope I summarized it pretty good for everybody. Gino, what do you think about this report and the response that is basically a non-response?
So I've worked in my understanding is they're kind of an outsourcing company who does this for major companies. They did Witcher 3 previously and other ones, and that's the quality they thought they were getting, which obviously wasn't from what's been uncovered. I think when you deal with a lot of these outsourcing companies, you think you're getting a service a lot of the time, and for them, I've not worked in the game industry, but I work in outsourcing elsewhere where there's targets and that to hit, so they kind of do what they can to hit those targets sometimes, so the focus moves off what they should be doing for the benefit of the person who's employing them, and it's, well, we've got these targets to be done, how do we get these targets done? And that's the main focus, just to get things done. One part they mentioned in the video is that it was just reporting little bugs to hit quotas and just things that weren't really important just to get numbers up. And then obviously all the big issues couldn't be worked on because they were too busy focused on all these little visual glitches, whereas game-breaking bugs were just not getting picked up. I think it's just highlights how important some of these big studios need their own internal teams who are not afraid to hit things and don't have these quotas in place, which just seems ridiculous.
Yeah, quotas for a QA team is like you have to find so many bugs. So, testing to pass and testing to fail are two different types of testing in QA. And again, I can professionally say all this, okay? And when you're testing to fail, you're going to find things that don't matter, if you will, right? So putting quotas on a QA team is, in my opinion, an awful, awful move if it's true, right? And based on the documents they received, that is just bad. You're there to find the bugs. You're not there to create the bugs. Those are two different things. Now, if you're trying to, that's more when your experienced people come in. If you find a bug and it's so random that you can't find the creation of it, then yeah, that's when you start to testing to fail. But typically, that's not how QA goes. A lot of bugs are very obvious, and a lot of bugs could have been fixed, in my opinion. So yeah, it was just to me is just a bad QA practice. And I personally wouldn't run a team that way, but I'm not Quantic Labs. Yeah.
It's a lot in this.
Yeah, there's a lot that went into Quantic Labs. But what do you think about Quantic Labs' response to it? That they were doing exactly what CD Projekt Red wanted them to do. Do you think that quota was part of what the CD Projekt Red wanted? Gina? He's out of it.
I'm out of it.
He's out of it. We've lost Gina officially, guys.
For some reason I thought you were talking to Scrubness at that point. No, it's like I said, with these outsourcing companies, to them, it's not improving the game, or that's not, they're not the developer. For them, it's they're hitting quotas and hitting targets. So if their contract was, you need to do this many bugs, we need a game in this situation, this many checks by this point, etc. They've done what they were asked to do. That's to them. They've been employed to do a job, and they've hit it.
Well, there you go. Well, I guess if that's what they were doing with these young, inexperienced QA testers, then I guess that's what they were doing. But man, what a train wreck. Terry, what are your
Lies.
thoughts? Oh, sorry. Scrub, go ahead. Scrub, go ahead.
I think it's lies. It's only because I worked 8 years QA, wasn't in gaming, but quality assurance, and another 2 years now with the hospital and going through paperwork. Most companies, this is where I'm going back on Cyberpunk, where I blame them.
Mhm.
If you have a third party do anything for you, 9 times out of 10, if you are competent at what you're doing, you go back and go through the work that they did to make sure that you approve of it, you think is good. Nobody should take what a company says and goes, oh yeah, it runs right and blah, 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 it's ready to go. If a vehicle company has another third party build an engine for them, they don't put the engine in the vehicle and say, oh, it's ready to go, sell it to the customer. You at least dyno it or drive it around to see if there's any problems, hook it up to a machine, even after the third party person does that for you.
Right.
And the jobs that I've had before, if they ran electric motor for us and said it goes up to these standards, me being as QA, I would still do diagnostic tests. It would still be run. I would go through what the customer wants as far as you have to hit all these points, and this checkpoint has to be met to say that this is good. No, I don't keep testing it 100 times to see if I can find something. Also, we were seeing that they were doing a lot of because you have a quota, it could be the smallest things whatsoever. I'm making something
Textures.
up. Yeah, somebody walked by and I saw his shoelace was untied. That's not breaking the game. There has to be stuff that is game breaking to be a problem. But we also know with these big open world games, even when they did the big 1.5 update, I ran into some minor bugs. It was not game breaking, it went away. But the fact that when Cyberpunk when CD Projekt Red put this game out with Cyberpunk, the breakage was so bad, there's no way they did not know this. And I think this is either going to be because they were trying to look away, or management and the corporation was saying this has to make it for a quarterly payoff. A lot of times too, when testing is being done, unless they're specifically trying to test everything with the game this big and not having enough staff, if you're only doing it on the biggest and brightest computers ever made, some of this stuff was fine. Like a lot of people were mainly having their problems on the Xbox One platform or the One X. But if you're on the Series X, it wasn't as bad. If you're on PC, it wasn't that bad. I wonder how much of this were they doing across consoles, or were they just going, it's working PC, it should work everywhere else. This was
Absolutely.
a failure across the board. Quantic coming out and said we done what we were told. That's just BS. Nobody told you we want a quota. I don't believe that at all. But at the same time, CD Projekt Red does have to take some serious blame on just taking what they were given and saying, "Oh, we didn't know," because there's no way if they should have had some.
Bugs, there's no way they didn't know.
Yeah. You mean to tell me that somebody QA'd your game, said it's good, and you did not pick that game up and play it at all after they were telling you that? That is not how a company works. That is not how you do with a third party. So it's a big mess. It's a big mess.
It's definitely a big mess. There's blame to go all around.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know what? Before I get back into it, Terry, what do you think?
I'm kind of, based on the video and them saying that, CD Projekt Red was when they chose to go with Quantic again was because they good, work relationship with The Witcher, so they had thought they were going to get the same veteran testers, but the company didn't disclose that all those testers had left the company at the time of taking on the project. So that's some shady dealings on Quantic's side, not being upfront, about that. And then after the fact, when they were delivering just all these small bugs and that not the stuff that's deep into that they need to find to actually solve all the core problems. They said that at that point, CD Projekt Red was already upset with the turnaround that they were getting. They weren't getting the results they were paying for. So at that point, why did you continue to pay these people to do a job they weren't fulfilling? Why did you not try to either do it yourself or hire a different company at that point? I mean, it still would have taken a lot of time, set you back having to have a different company do it, but you weren't getting any results anyway. So you know what I mean? So I don't understand why they didn't, be like, you know what, you're not doing what we paid you for. We got to take this elsewhere, and they didn't. So that confuses me.
Yeah, usually when you're hired as a third party, anything, you have to meet criteria to be hired, and you have to provide it, and somebody should be checking up on that. Like maybe CD Projekt Red didn't have a liaison for them to check on their work. Paul, you've done some QA work, or people who've done QA work. Tell us what you think.
Well, first, let me say, let's not be so quick to throw Quantic under the bus based on a whistleblower report. I mean, seriously, guys.
It's not like he's a scorned employee or anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a year and a half since release, and so I'm not so quick to take it at face value and just say everything in this report is true, because look at the title of their thing. They called it a failure. And yes, it was bumpy. Yes, it was buggy, but I would not call Cyberpunk a failure. I think that was clickbait. I think they wanted to get eyes on their little report. And so we don't know the details. They may have been asked to do quotas or whatever. Or by whichever side to say you need to show you're actually doing something. So, I would, like I said, I wouldn't take it at face value necessarily. There's probably some truth in it. As far as their response goes, the non-response response, as you called it, why would you necessarily doing a tit for tat, get into a pissing match with some group on the internet? I mean, some companies choose not to. Because we know from release that it came out that it wasn't the developers that wanted to dump, Cyberpunk on us. It was from the higher ups. The board wanted their money. They wanted their return, So, I mean, this is just more trying to pass blame for whatever reason. I like you said, it was a failure all the way around, but I wouldn't lay all of this at Quantum's on Quantum's lap either, because they probably knew it wasn't ready. Cyberpunk, the devs said they knew it wasn't ready, but they were saying the board was pressuring them to get it out so they could make their either quarterly or their calendar year payouts.
Right. Yeah. So, maybe they were about to run out of money. Who knows why they had to release Cyberpunk 2077?
Right. So I mean. Yeah. So, because they had invested a lot of money in it, we know that.
Yeah, when you advertise for like 6 years, yeah.
And remember, the board has a fiduciary responsibility to get, to make sure the investors get their money, basically.
Well, not just that, but one of the major investors for CD Projekt Red is the government.
Yeah.
So when government comes knocking, where's my return? You better provide a return.
That's right.
I mean, at least that's the way it works here in the States. I don't know how it works over there.
That way, we really don't know the whole story. Even though, whistleblower reports, like I said, I to be honest, I told you before the show, I haven't had a chance to watch the video. I came in as you guys were finishing up. But I don't tend to take all those things. I take them all with a grain of salt. Because a lot of times whistleblowers, they come from a place of I got fired, and I'm pissed off, and now I'm gonna, blow all this stuff out of proportion to get some notice, you know.
Yeah. So the thing that bothers me about Quantic Dragon, again, I'm going to place this on the inexperience if it's true, right? If the lead has less than a year of experience, one of the hardest things in QA is communication. If you cannot communicate or are unwilling to communicate, you are already failing. And I say that because I have conversations, I call them difficult conversations, with higher ups, and I'm going to tell them everything they do not want to hear. And they're going to lash back at me with all their higher up words and anger. And I have to stand firm on my ground and somehow effectively communicate back to them how this is game breaking or app breaking, if you will, right? And it's not something they want to hear. It's not what they did, and the fact that I have to communicate this to them, is one of those things. But the way I see it, I'm doing my job. I'm paid to have these difficult conversations on behalf of my team, right? And to let them know how severe this really is. I have stopped launches of products on time because of bugs that have been discovered in the system. Like I will not put my signature on it. You do not have my say so to launch this. It is going to be a travesty if you do. And I have stopped it. And I have to stand by that because, if I stopped it and it wasn't that big a deal, okay, that's on me. But if I stopped it and I'm the hero, great, awesome. I get an awesome bonus. Why not?
Exactly. Exactly.
But it's up to me with my, Jesus, it's been like a decade of experience in QA of, having all this go out and be able to communicate that. And I can see a young, not veteran QA lead not understanding that.
Or too
Right.
scared to say something. Yes,
Yeah,
you'll
too
definitely
scared.
have
Yeah,
that.
it's because let me tell you, it's scary going up to CEOs and
Mm-hmm.
CFOs and COOs and tell them why their product is not launching or why you're not signing off to finish the launch, right? It is those conversations at first are scary, but I think experience counts for something. And as I said, when you have a young team of 30 QAs is a big team in my opinion. That is a huge team. And first off, that is a massive team. That's way bigger team than I've ever worked with. Right.
But
But
then
I don't
again,
know video games.
look at the
Again,
size of the project too. I mean, the that was
yeah.
a big project. But that also to me goes back to if it's true that CD Projekt Red had nothing but basically newish people doing this major job, from Quantic Dreams, that's on CD Projekt Red because you're right, they didn't do their
Exactly.
homework. They
Mhm.
didn't say, "Wait, where's all these people that we worked with before? Oh,
Yeah.
they're all gone." Well, then, at that point, you should have said, "Well, you know what? We might want to go with the more experienced group." You
It's
know,
really funny you say that because one of the clients asked me how many years experience is on your team. So I told him, right? I told him, oh, we're a relatively small team. We have like 60 years experience in QA on my team. And he goes, how many of those years are you? you know, and ironically, I was fairly young at this time. So I told him, I only have like 3 or 4 years of experience. He goes, so all your experiences in your employees, the actual people doing the work. And I go, I go, yeah, so far. And he goes, okay. So it's one of those things. Maybe that needs to be a vetting question that CD Projekt Red should have done. How much experience is on your team and who has the most, so you know where most of the experience lies.
yeah, is it the guys down in the ditch with the experience, or is it the guy? You know. So yeah,
Yeah, it's so
that
funny
should
because
be. You would think that would be a common sense question for something like that.
it's not. Only one person has ever asked me that question in the 10 years I've been doing this. It's really
See,
not.
and when we take on new customers, now this one was not they've worked with them again with The Witcher, but even customers we've worked with for years on end, they would do walkthroughs, they would have meetings and talk to they would sit there and question our department. They would sit there and do tests based on their specs and say, hey, our specs say this, or can you tell me what's the spec on page 5, article 37? What's the tolerance for such and such, such and such?
Mhm.
And there was no, oh, let me look. It was, oh, that answer is blah, 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 blah. So there is a lot that to blame for CDPR on what they did, what they did not do as far as vetting this team. You cannot say that this was all on QA.
Yeah,
But at the
absolutely.
same time, a lot of people don't understand QA might not do the actual work, but QA has to be usually the first person that deals with a lot of this stuff, usually the last person that puts their hands on this information. And depending on the company and what products being put out, QA should be stepping in multiple times during the process to check what's going on, to make sure everything is going smoothly according to what the customers want. It's not just at the very end, oh, let me walk through this stage and this stage, and oh, it's done, it's good. There is a lot of work that goes into QA, and now if it's not being done, if it's being stepped through, or if, like I said, if we're going by what was told, if most of this, because it's a quota, we're picking up any little thing that does not break the game just to say we have pointed out something. Yes, it's good to know that the shading is bad here. Yes, it's good to know that a tree in the background has such and such and such and such. But how much was getting really done and worked through if
Yeah.
you caught all of those? But when you can fly through a freaking car on your motorcycle, or you start floating in the air, or you're sinking in the bottom of the ocean, we picked up all of these, but you couldn't pick up any of the game breaking ones. Like I said, it's a fault on both. It's a pox on both houses, as you might say. There's no way that all this stuff slipped through and neither team knew what it was, especially the team who is supposed to be QA.
Well,
Right.
I
And
think
that
it all
comes from
falls on.
somebody who
I think it
QAs.
all falls on CD Project Red. I
Yes,
do, because
it's
if
poor
they
management.
if they had their, especially if they had their own in-house QA as well, it was probably a cycle of, and I'm not saying this for sure, but it was probably a cycle of the that Quantum would find some of the bugs, report them to CDRP, and then CDRP's QA would go through and try to recreate them, find them, and do more of their backside too. And it could be that Quantum was asked to do the smaller bugs, and CDRP was going to focus on the bigger bugs. We don't know,
Yeah.
because from an organizational standpoint, I can see why they would do that. Let's work on the big things. You guys find all the small shit.
Yeah,
Seriously.
maybe
Yeah.
Quantum was just there was hired to do the polish part of QA.
Yeah.
Yeah, the polish part. Yeah.
But
I
both of
mean,
them were bad. The polish was bad. The big bugs were bad.
But
So
again, that comes down
there's no excuse for
that comes
both.
down
It's
to
both.
again, a lot of that only came through because of the push to release. I honestly believe that the CDRP has said they knew it wasn't ready, but they were
Right.
forced pretty much to release it. They didn't want to release it; they were forced to release it.
Right. This is all done because of trying to push out, but at the same time, there was no PR to try to fix this. This was all, let's push it out and hope that nobody complains about it. So
Yeah.
No,
Matter of
they
fact,
knew
nobody's
people were
even
going to
allowed to show
complain.
footage
yeah,
from the Xbox or PS4
exactly.
versions.
The
Do you remember that?
corporations knew. Yes, when they went and sat there and
They
did
knew.
the playthroughs, they all knew. So when I say CDPR is the company. So that's why I'm saying that. Yes, it was their management, but when I say CDPR, I'm talking about
I know. I'm
as
just
a
saying we should
whole.
separate the devs from the money, the bean counters. You know,
Yeah, but yeah,
the devs were victims in this situation as bad as we were, if not worse, because they were the ones that got the death threats and all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree with the
yeah.
It
Paul.
wasn't the
I
board
don't
members that
understand why
was getting the
devs get
death
the death
threats.
threats.
Yeah, it wasn't the.
It's not that deep, guys. It's a video game, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Just saying. We love video games, but let's be honest, it's not that deep.
I mean,
You
on
know,
the
and
plus
apparently
side,
that's been going on again too, because we've had a bunch of companies say they're getting physical threats. They're all posting, please stop threatening our devs. We You know, we should never have to do that. We should not have to do that.
Absolutely should not. Gina, you were saying?
I was going to say, as a plus side of this whole thing going wrong is we had an amazing launch with just video after video. These funny bugs and just glitches we'd never seen before in games existed. So I'm kind of, one hand, I'm glad the game is sorted now, but I'm also glad it launched the way it did because, man, some of those videos were amazing. Just
I find the comedy in bugs, and maybe this is why I'm in the industry. I get into, like, I just find the comedy in it, and it's funny to me. It's serious, but it's funny at the same time. And if you can't laugh at your own work, I
love flying across the map. I love
glitch,
flying across the map, and I purposely tried to recreate that bug numerous times.
I mean, like, which one of us hasn't tried to find a break in the game to do something cool? I know I did it all the time when I was younger. So, I find that kind of stuff entertaining. But all right, Terri, you got anything else to add to this conversation?
I'm good.
All right, well, she's good. All right, let's check back in with the chat before we move on here. Where we at? Dirt Grimagiddy joins us. Hey, Dirt, thank you so much for stopping by. Jesse Darby joins us as well. Jesse Darby, hello. How are you today? Let's see who else we got jumping in. We got Skywalker UAV1. Say with the emoji. We got 108 Dragons TV. Lemon, thank you so much for stopping by, Lemon. We appreciate you. We got Nix jumping in. Morning all. Hope everyone is having a great 4th of July weekend and a safe one to do so far. Yeah, we're going to talk about 4th of July plans here in a while. Eternal Shaddai, who is not here, but he's, his camera privileges have been turned off, but he's over there with that phone still texting.
You don't want to know where he hides that phone. You don't want to know where he hides that phone.
Oh my gosh. We got Mr. Joanna Dark saying happy Sunday. Thank you so much, Mr. Joanna Dark. My mom joins us. Lady Luna, morning. Good to see you all. Thank you so much, Mom. We appreciate you. Pixel Slappa joins us. Thank you so much for coming in, Pixel Slappa. Let's see. I think I got everybody. Oh, Xbox Live Party podcast comes in. Hello, Xbox Live Party podcast. It was so fun being on your show earlier this week. Be sure to check it out, guys. It was a fun show. Really fun. Crazy Greek Dude comes in. He says, good morning, all. Thank you so much for coming in, Crazy Greek Dude. Redders is in. Redders was the host of the Xbox Live Party podcast, and hopefully we'll have him here on Good Morning Xbox soon. And if you don't know, guys, the Good Morning Xbox is kind of doing a little trade-off with Xbox Live Party podcast because, Shaddai has been on Xbox Live Party podcast. I've been on Xbox Live Party podcast. Paul has been on Xbox Live Party podcast.
Many times Paul has been on. Yeah.
We got Scrubness, and I believe Terry is also scheduled to show up as well, correct? And of course,
I'll be on Tuesday.
Yeah, there you go. This Tuesday, be sure you catch it. It locally here for me, it's 2:00, so I believe it's 3:00 Eastern. 3:00 Eastern. It goes live, so be sure to follow Xbox Live Party podcast, so you can see all your Good Morning Xbox panel members do their turn at guesting. And of course, we have the Gina here with us today, and hopefully we'll get Redders here soon in here as well. Hopefully Redders can tame his language enough to be on the show. This is
that might be an issue for your show. Yeah.
All right. Now, I had done a poll in the chat as well, asking people who they thought these QA, if Quantic Labs was to blame for some of the QA problems, and here when it shows up. And 64% of the chat said they don't know. So even though there is a scathing report out for Quantic Lab with a whistleblower, the audience is still not ready to lay all the blame on Quantic Labs. And that's a good position to take, in my opinion. So shout out to the chat for doing that. And one more thing I have here before we move on to our next topic. Give me 1 second, guys. So in the chat right now, I am putting a shortened link. And this is to donate to the charity stream that Gina did earlier in the day today. Be sure to check out that link, guys, and give him a donation. Every little bit helps. I'm sure the donations are still open. So yeah, there you go.
Thanks.
I was robbed in F1. I love the supporter comments.
Yeah.
I was robbed in somebody was robbed in F1. Who was robbed in F1, Gina? Tell us about this.
That was one of my mates, Miller. So he joined us for a few races. So we did a season because we had 24 hours to kill. So we did about a 12 race season, and he joined in halfway through, but still won. So I went in and changed because on F1 2021 it allows you to change the last result, and I had a 3-second penalty that I thought was a bit harsh. So I changed that, so I came first and he came second. But it stripped all of his points for the entire championship, apart from 18 points. We finished one off bottom. So he still should have won the championship, but he finished one from bottom. And that's what the record shows now. And I can't change it back. There's no way of editing it again. So I don't know what happened, but he's basically one of the worst F1 drivers we have, according to the pictures I can share.
Hey, pictures are proof. He's, that's just the way it is.
All right, everybody. Yeah, let's get right into our next topic. Our next topic is Skull and Bones release date leaked, and we are going to bring in our resident Ubisoft person here, Coolcat Terri. Terri, tell us about Skull and Bones.
Oh my gosh, Skull and Bones. This has been the game that has been more of a legend than reality, because it's one of those things that it's was supposed to come out back in 2018, and then we just didn't hear anything about it. They talked about how they were basically starting over from scratch. They wanted to change it from what they had planned to make it more of a service game. And then they ended up having to, and then all the scandals happened within Ubisoft, and then the lead that was working at the studio ended up getting removed. So that set the project back even further. So now that there's leaks, because they have been seeing the ESRB ratings have been popping up in I can't remember which country it was, but it popped up somewhere. So now Skull and Bones is talk again about how, that it may be releasing hopefully sometime, maybe late this year or early next year. Yep. I've been excited for this game for a bit, but at the same time, I don't follow rumors. I would rather wait for Ubisoft to make the official announcement saying, yes, this game is coming out at whenever it's coming out. And that's what I will go by. And then they can go and then break my heart again when they delay it for the 10th time. And, I'll have to live with it. But, I don't know. The rumors make you get excited, because for the longest time, whenever I brought up Skull and Bones, I'd always have someone make a remark about how that game's canceled. It's not going to happen. Don't get your hopes up, whatever. But it's, so it's great to see that it's in the news, but it's a rumor. So I can't really give it, hold it at face value, because it's just wishful thinking, I need the official announcement from Ubisoft for it to be real. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm waiting for.
All right. Well, there you go. Is Paul not there? Paul, you still there? Oh, he must have stepped away. Okay. Man, I messed up my Skull and Bones joke.
So I went to get coffee. What do you want?
Yeah. There you go. Paul, Skull and Bones has a leaked release window in November, I believe it is. And do you think it will actually release in November, or are you going to be made of Skull and Bones by the time
nothing
this game
is going to
releases?
release in November. Nothing is going to. November is a no month, I think. No, every game that said they were going to release in November said, well, not really. So we'll see. I hope it does. I mean, I could, first I was looking forward to, I was going to have 3 weeks between Harry Potter and Starfield. They're both being pushed back. And now there's nothing. So yeah, bring me my Skull and Bones.
There you go.
Even if it is a service game, they'll give me something to do for November. So yeah, we'll see. Right. Like Terri, until I tend to ignore rumors and insider information, because most of the insiders don't know the inside of anything. So yeah. So I tend to wait for the official announcements, because also the fact that with the delays we have had, it's stupid to base your hopes on, well, they said it was going to release. Well, they hadn't said anything. Okay, so don't get your hopes up. Until I see the official one, and then if they're late, then I go, well, crap. you know. But then again, you know me, I'm also the one that goes, well, you know, they probably had a good reason. They don't want a repeat of Cyberpunk. So if it gets delayed, that's good. The way I look at it right now, 2023 is going to be packed. There's not going to be time to play anything in 2023. Yeah.
Right?
So
Absolutely.
I hope it comes out. I was just reading the article that you posted, and you know, I actually don't know much about Skull and Bones, but hey, I'll do pirates all day. You know,
There you go. He'll do pirates all day, guys. You heard it here first.
yeah, not that kind of pirate. Okay,
Not what I heard
but,
on Good Morning Xbox. I'm kidding,
so,
Paul.
but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Even if if it is a live service game, I'm not big on those, as we all know either, because I don't tend to be really good at those. You know, I enjoy when I play with friends, but I won't go in there and hang out by myself and be be uh, be the victim of everybody's folly, as it were. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm
So there you
looking
go.
forward to it. Hopefully, it's good. I have a love-hate relationship with Ubisoft. You know. Yeah. So
Oh, yeah, me too. I love their
yeah.
games and I hate when they're over. So
Yeah.
yeah. Scribner, Skull and Bones officially or unofficially, not officially, sorry. Rumored to release November
Yeah,
8th.
get it right.
Rumored to release November 8th. What do you think?
I feel like that emoji that just like I mean, this game was supposed to come out so many different times. I can't sit there and put any hope into the game right now and go, oh yes, this is the one. I mean, the other ones, maybe not, but this is the one that I'm hanging my hat on. I don't have a hat on, but if I did, I wouldn't hang it on there. This is just another thing I would like to. Yeah, if they had the ESRB on there, yes, a lot of times that means that people are going through it. They're getting ready to do their ratings, but even then, I wouldn't be surprised if they go, oh, another delay. So when it comes out, fine. And when it does come out, I don't know if this is a game I want to play. I still got to see more on it. So
There
until I
was 6
start seeing,
minutes of leak alpha play.
yeah, until I see trailers and gameplay of this game, I don't care. And I hate to say that a game that's supposed to be that big that I don't care anything about it because I haven't seen anything. So you show me something, I don't care.
All right, there you go. So he doesn't care. Gina, Skull and Bones, rumored to release November 8th. Have you seen the leaked gameplay? Do you care about Skull and Bones?
Unfortunately, my opinion is very similar to Scrubnurse. I just don't really care about the game. It just keeps getting kind of teased and then delayed. And then every time I hear something about it, like Terry said, it changes. Like I was quite excited when they first announced it. And it looked like it was going to be Sea of Thieves, but you didn't have to deal with everyone trying to attack you when you do missions every 2 minutes. And then the last I heard is they're now going PV, like online PvP instead of PvE, which is all I want from Sea of Thieves is a PvE server, and I'd be very happy.
That's right.
So yeah, I just don't have any interest in it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be for me.
Well, all right. So there you go. It's not for you.
And another thing, Axel, you will not make me hype for this game because I've been waiting on Beyond Good and Evil 2 and seeing 100 different things on that and trailers and release dates. And we still don't know anything about that. So I'm definitely not getting hyped on this one until you show me Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Until I show you. It's not me. I don't know.
And some of us have been waiting decades for more Sam Fisher, so screw him. Oh,
Yeah.
By the way, everybody, the mag works for Ubisoft. So if you want some leaks, talk to the mag. He knows what's coming.
Ooh.
We keep getting GoldenEye achievements, and then that's meant to be next week. There's an announcement because a new achievement unlocked, and then that never turns up. So who knows what's going on? Don't trust anyone until it's out there from the developers themselves.
All these insiders, gotta watch them.
Yeah,
that's right. The insiders gotta watch out for those insiders. I love leaks as much as anybody else, but I also hate leaks as much as anybody else. Probably more than anybody else, to be honest with you. Because I like being surprised. And leaks take that surprise away. So I am kind of a little anti-leak because I like being surprised. I don't like gameplay reveal leaks. I don't like announcement leaks. But a release date leak for a game that has already been announced and was supposed to come out way back in 2018, same time as Sea of Thieves did, or a year after Sea of Thieves did, I should say. Um, I don't mind hearing a little release date leak, but as everybody here says, it's not official until Ubisoft says so, and they haven't said so. And I think Skull and Bones, if they put so much into Skull and Bones, I don't think that they would wait how many months until November at this point? 4 months?
Well, I was going to say, if it's truly coming out in November, we still haven't seen much of anything on it. That
Yeah.
just seems weird. I mean,
Yeah, the advertising cycle is not there, in my opinion. 4 months is
Exactly.
not enough.
that's not Ubisoft's usual operating. I mean, they're gonna start flashing us stuff from the new Assassin's Creed already, and shoot, that ain't coming out for forever. But but we haven't seen anything on this, so it seems weird that they would now be saying November, and we have no information.
Yeah, it's 4 months away, and there's no advertising for it. And usually Ubisoft does the whole 1 year before advertising because we know a lot of Ubisoft games that are coming out a year before, and they start advertising heavily. So if Skull and Bones is releasing in November, the advertising cycle that is their normal advertising cycle is just not making any sense to me right now, based on historical Ubisoft game releases. So yeah, I don't think the release date is real. I think it's just a placeholder. Maybe I hope it's a game reveal, play reveal, and then we get it next year.
Yeah.
That would be more
Well,
fun.
and then the other side would be usually by now, especially for live service games, you would start hearing about alphas or betas being run through.
Well,
4 months
there was
out.
an alpha.
They've
game
already had some of those.
They've had
So-
some, but yeah.
Somebody
Not
leaked
a
some
lot.
alpha gameplay on Reddit a few months ago. So the alpha ring is done, or close to being done. So yeah, there you go. All right. So if you're excited for Skull and Bones and you think it's going to release before you yourself are Skull and Bones, hey, good for you guys. So yeah, I like pirate games. Obviously, me being a big Sea of Thieves fan, and I know that this is going to play more to the Black Flag style gameplay. But I know Ubisoft will make it its own thing, heavily inspired by Black Flag. But it would be
I
cool
got no
not
problem
to
with
have
that.
to wait
I
for my
love Black
friends.
Flag. Black
Huh?
Flag was amazing. Black Flag was amazing.
Could you
It
imagine
threw me
having
back
armadas
into-
with your friend on the same server? Like all of
Yeah.
you have your own ships? That'd be cool. And then here comes
That's one
newbie
thing I do
Axel.
hope
No
they-
Skin Axel, as I'm going to be called. No Skin Axel coming in with his standard ship.
Yeah.
That's
one
Terri,
thing I
carry
hope
me.
that's one thing I hope they do compared to Sea of Thieves. Allow us to know we're playing on the same server and actually have fun together.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves needs to. I've long wanted Sea of Thieves to do armadas through a server. That would be so fun. I don't know if you guys know this, but Sea of Thieves also has boat racing in it unofficially.
Yeah,
So that's
unofficially.
fun.
Yeah.
Unofficially, and I have unofficially lost that boat race with my crew, a bunch of scrubs. So yeah, it took a long time. It takes like 2 to 3 hours to set up a race, and then the race lasts maybe 30 minutes. So I waited 2 to 3 hours to not win an unofficial race. So there you go. All right. All right. With all that being said, guys, I think it's time to bring Terri in.
All right, everybody. I hope you're all doing fantastic and are excited for the next indie spotlight for this week. I got another great one for you guys. So let me go ahead and put up the trailer, and we'll go from there.
Breastbreaker Ashley, please report. Begin field-based setup.
Good morning, Mr. Riggs.
Good morning, Ashley.
We should go out and explore the area.
There's a large hostile infestation nearby.
Kill it before it kills us.
We should build up our base as quickly as possible.
Let's place it close to a carbonium deposit.
I love building bases.
Crafting complete. Base is under attack.
We're ready for them.
Tower defense, yes.
Ashley, use the rift portal to jump to the mighty base. Rift jump successful.
Nice. The Rift Breaker.
I can sense the ground shaking. I estimate a few thousand creatures running at our base. Prepare yourself, Ashley.
This will be a tough fight.
Okay, that looks like Zerglings on crack from.
All right, so there you have it, Rift Breaker. Now, as you saw, it's base building, it's action RPG, it's tower defense. It's got like everything you can think of, all kind of mixed into one thing. The main goal of the game is you want to create a dimensional like rift thing, so you can travel back to Earth because you're stranded on an alien planet and you gotta explore, survive, build stuff. It's a good have some fun, and whatnot. And then this game. God, it's a treat for you guys. I'm going to save it for the end, but for those of you that are PC and PlayStation 5, it's a $30 game. You can get it right now for 25% off on Steam, and they do offer a free demo. Now, for those of you on Xbox, it's on Game Pass, so go ahead, just download it, try it, enjoy it. Well, it's on Game Pass, so yes, go check it out. There is
you did it again.
There is one complaint when it comes to the Xbox community. There has been an issue reported with game save corruption, so player beware. But so hopefully they get that sorted out. But this game is getting a lot of praise, a lot of really positive feedback. It's even won some awards and stuff like that. So enjoy it. It's a great game, especially those of you that are into the whole survival tower defense scene. Enjoy it. It's good stuff. X was excited. He's ready.
You know what? I'm going to check if it's on Game Pass for PC right now.
Yeah. This was on the last Xbox showcase. They showed this, wasn't it?
Was it?
They released a demo last year, didn't they? That summer showcase where they put like Tunic and Rift Break. I played the demo; it was excellent. I just never got around to playing the game for some reason.
Wow, I might get into it because I love tower defense and base building and sci-fi. So this totally screams me. Yeah. Hold on, my internet's going slow for some reason. Am I connected right? Yeah, I'm connected. Okay, good.
Yeah.
It is getting good reviews though. I can see that as well. What is the Open Critic on this one, Terry? Do you know?
Who? The Metacritic?
Open Critic. We don't talk about Metacritic here.
I don't know what the Open Critic is. I don't know what that is.
Well, working.
For those that I don't care about Metacritic, but those that do, I think it got like an 83.
There you go. So
which is pretty high praise for an indie game, for them. So,
There you go. And shout out to Happy Cloud Gamer who joins us. Hey, sorry I'm on the phone, so I can't use the app to get the names. Hey, no problem, Happy Cloud Gamer. By the way, guys, if you're interested in cloud gaming, Happy Cloud Gamer is your source. His channel is dedicated to cloud gaming. Shout out to him. Be sure to give him a like or a follow over there. Oh, and by the way, also be sure to like and subscribe to this channel right here if you're enjoying the content, folks, and share it out with your friends. I'm shouting out everybody else's channel. I should shout out mine too. Shameless plug. I don't know what's going on with the Xbox app right now. It's messing up my whole connection. I can see my connection not working.
Mine was acting up the other night as well.
Might hit update
from time to time. Just don't enlarge it to full screen. Sometimes it works better that way if you're on your PC.
Yeah. Actually, mine always works. This is the first time it has not. If
It's
I'm being
been
honest.
that way all weekend. I'm telling you. It's ever since Summit. They all took a vacation, and apparently the
Yeah.
software decided
The
to
4th
take
of
a
July.
vacation as well.
The servers are. Remember, guys, 4th of July is tomorrow, so expect Xbox Live to go down. It is
Yes.
tradition for Xbox Live to go down on holidays.
There's a lot more people home that are got work off, so there's going to be an overload somewhere.
That's right. Xbox Live going down. You heard it here first.
Does that make you an insider?
That's right. I'm an insider. I built that insider knowledge after 20 years of being on Xbox Live. I just know their modus operandi, if you will. All right, so talking about leaks still, let's get back on topic to leaks. And Terry's absolute favorite game, Halo, is in the news again for the co-op campaign leaking. Gina, what did you think about? Did you see it? What did you think?
I've seen some of the screenshots of it because I've obviously been really busy the last few days, but yeah, I'm excited to jump back into the campaign again. I really enjoyed it. I've heard there's a tethering from the leaks that you can only go 800 meters or something. That's far enough. I mean, Halo C, you never got that far apart, did you? So
the report says that at 800 meters, you'll get a warning, and it's insta death at 1,000 meters.
Yeah,
so
seems a bit
me
excessive.
being me, I'm 100% going to troll Terry, tell her the objective is that way. Let's go. She's going to get ahead of me, and I'm going to go the other way, just to troll her.
Well, you're stood there trying to get your guns out of the bases where those things pop out, and you're choosing your weapon. Someone's drove off, and you just die because you haven't chose your weapons in time.
So true.
Okay,
so true.
So instead of pulling you back like they did in what was the game?
Destiny.
What's that?
Destiny did it. Destiny would pull you
Destiny,
back, and
but
Gears of
also,
War would pull you back.
The game with the zombies and the plague hordes and stuff.
State of Decay.
That does not help you
State
either.
of Decay does tethering, and it basically warns you, but then it just pulls you back. It doesn't kill you. It just it literally pulls you back to the other player. So Halo went a little more. Chose violence. We're just going to kill you if you get
tethering is one of
Scorched Earth. Oh, look at this guy not playing by the rules. Who does he think he is? Dead. I love it. Scrub, what do you think about the co-op campaign? It's not been officially announced. This is again leaks, but we got videos, we got screenshots, we got information. What do you think?
Well, the tethering issue, because I know a lot of people were like, oh my God, they're taking the fun out of Halo. I want to be able to do 3 other missions while my friend does 3 other missions. Well, I'm like, well, that defeats the purpose of co-op.
Co-op thing.
Co-op means you can play together as a team, as friends. So this complaining about co-op is ridiculous. Now, when they said with the tethering, they did say that, like you said, the 800 feet and then 1,000 feet, they'll take you out. So they gave an example. If you go to the Covenant dig site, you and your friend could take that that section down from either side of that dig site. So I think that's pretty a nice size as far as tethering. I don't think that's too crazy. And also they said, yes, when you go to the 1,000, you get your flashing lights at red, you keep going, 1,000, you die. And then once you die, they spawn you right onto your player. So I think that fixes that. So hopefully it won't count against you on this or that, but at least once you die, that doesn't mean your teammates left by themselves. It does spawn you right there on your teammate once you do die. So late terminus, when I say banish, not Covenant, you know what I'm talking about, whatever. But when you're on that dig site, you got plenty of room. Co-op is for you to play together. People want to play together. So people who are doing this false narrative, oh, well, in this game, in Crackdown 1 and 2, you could do complete whole missions apart from each other. And I thought that's the best way to play co-op. That's not co-op. That's a way to hack the game so you can finish it faster. So I'm glad that it's coming out. a lot. It's going to pick up a lot more people who have played the game solo. That's how most people do it. They do it solo, and then a lot of times they'll grab a friend and play it together. For the people who wanted to play it together and couldn't, yes, it's finally out now, and hopefully there'll be some updates as far as the game. Gameplay and everything, just to make sure everything is good. The one thing I do worry about is because they did say that everyone will be playing as Master Chief.
Yep.
What I wish you could do is everybody could play as Master Chief from whatever skins you got from your multiplayer.
Yeah, like
But
Gears
I
of War
know-
5 does it.
Right. But I know
Yeah.
what they're probably going to do is to keep it looking halfway consistent with the cutscenes. Is you look like everybody looks like the same Master Chief. Cutscenes match up because it seems like you're playing and you're learning. But I wish it was more so to the standards of like Reach. You got 4 people, you're playing in there. Everybody has their different looks. That's personally me. But if everybody was going to be a Master Chief, I would have liked it that you would have had the multiplayer skins and you can have your different colors, your different helmets of that nature. So we'll see how it goes.
Come on, Scribners wants to see his own character wearing his cat ears in those cutscenes.
Oh yeah, oh goodness. I mean something. This to me, it looks like this is like the bare minimum that they're trying to do to make sure that they have it out and they say, yes, we do have something for you guys, but at least they have it. This is not the first Halo where everybody had to be Master Chief. So
No.
you should be
It'd be
used
great
to it.
to it'd be great to have that heartfelt moment with the pilot, but you're there with the skull helmet, the flames coming out, the cherry blossoms following you as you walk.
Right.
You're trying to be all serious and comforting, and just looks so out of place.
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
they'll add that eventually because that's fun, but this is functionality. I think they're getting the functionality first and then they'll add the fun later, personally.
Speaking of cutscenes, let me say real quick, for those of you who have played the single player before and are in no hurry to rush through the cutscenes, remember that the person you might be co-oping with may have waited to play the single player. So let them enjoy the cutscenes. Just because you've seen them doesn't mean they have. So
Don't
let's
talk through
not-
cutscenes.
Don't talk through the cutscenes and don't go, skip it, skip it, skip it. Come on, skip it, let's go. Because that's just rude. Okay, that's why a lot of us choose to play single player first, because we want to see the story, but we always end up grouping with people who want to just rush through the missions. So yeah, don't do that. Don't be that guy.
That's right. You got over here. Halo is always more fun with friends. Jump into our latest preview blog to learn more about Halo Infinite's campaign network co-op and mission replay. Mission replay, another thing that the community has been asking for, features ahead of next month Insider's Flight. So there you go. 343 themselves announcing it. So it leaked. They acknowledged it, which I personally like that the leak was acknowledged, that it's legitimate, and it's good from as a Halo fan's perspective that this is coming. Terry, sorry, go ahead.
It popped in my head. Terry might bring it up, but something that Redfall might learn of, when you're playing each mission, it'll show who's played through it and who's not. And if everybody's played through it, you can just choose to play through it again or go to next. But if there's one person that hasn't played it, both of y'all can play through it and everybody gets all their experience. Everybody gets whatever guns and secret hidden places, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I played with Axel these 3 missions, and then when I play with Cerebral, I gotta start back over again. I'm just saying.
That happens a lot when you're doing co-op with multiple friends and being adults, we're not all on at the same time. So, sometimes you'll be further ahead on a campaign with somebody and other times you'll be further back. Yeah, so I agree with that they have a nice tracker for that. Hopefully they will. Hopefully it will work the way I envision it will work. Terry, I know you love Halo. I know you can't wait to get your co-op
Look
on.
at that
Tell us
look
about
on
it.
her face. Look at that look.
Tell us
Can I
about
play
the
as one
Halo
of those
co-op.
little dudes? No, I want to play as one of those little dudes. Like
The grunts.
the little stubby dudes. Like I want to play as one of them with my stubby arms and a big gun. That's what I want to do. Screw the Spartans. All right,
Oh my
come on.
I think you should
The grunts
totally
are
do that,
funny.
Terry. And when I hammer your little dude with this gravity hammer right here, right through his legs, I'll let you know.
You can't tell me that playing at, what do you call them, grunts or whatever.
Grunts,
You can't tell me that wouldn't be the most hilarious gameplay of your life.
She's right. They're funny as hell. So I'll
They're
give her
so
that.
funny. One of the best parts of Halo Infinite is the grunt dialogue.
I'm still waiting for them to show up
It's
in the
the
series.
They showed up in the series. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
there.
they're in there.
But yeah, we,
So just a quick look at some of these screenshots. I mean, look how awesome this looks through the campaign. Campaign levels are designed differently than co-op levels. Here you have two, you and your partner on a Razorback, and you're going to be loading up some extra Marines. So it's cool that the AI is still going to be there. Look at this ridiculousness. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I mean, and that was one of the best parts about the Halo Infinite was the sandboxing of just how much freedom you had to attack each area. Like, was this guy giving you trouble? Go back to base, pick up a tank, and run him over.
I love dropping a
Mhm.
tank on. I love dropping a tank on my own guys at the base. You know, when you
Oh
call
my
them,
god, you murderer!
they'd be standing there. You just drop this tank right on top of them.
That's not. Well, now I know who I'm going to be dropping the tank on. So, yeah. Oh, hold on, we got the emergency system going off over here. Okay. Yeah. So let's check in with the chat. Lethal Terminus says, "Yeah, I know one of the big complaints was people wanted to play as their custom Spartans, and I get that. Yeah. And again, I think that it will eventually be added, just like it was added to Gears 5. But I think they're doing the functionality first, and then they'll add the fun. Personal. I don't see this not being added in the future." Happy Cloud Gamer with a hot take. He says, "Many will not agree with me, but I have more fun with Battlefield 2042 after the new update and map came out versus Halo Infinite multiplayer. That's coming from a Halo fan. Lies, you're not a Halo fan if you say such things." I'm just kidding, Happy Cloud Gamer. Let's see. Do you play Battlefield 2042, Scrub? The new update?
Not since the new update. I put that sucker down after that came out, and it was just a mess. And yeah, and I paid for the $100 version. So yeah, I put some serious money in that. I've been
born
playing
every day. What do you know?
Yeah, I play Halo. I play
He
Halo
got
and Call
he got
of
tired
Duty.
of crying every time he booted up 2042. So you know,
Oh, it was
$100,
ridiculous.
man, $100.
I paid $100 for this.
Yeah. So I'm just leaking money everywhere. So
That's right. Well, be sure to leak some money over into the Gina's fundraiser. So, all right, let's see. Gina said he played Gears 4 with a friend who didn't talk during gameplay, but as soon as the cutscene kicked in, they wouldn't shut up. Drove him crazy. Exactly. Do not speak through cutscenes, guys.
This was in person. This wasn't online either. They would sit next to me. I'd be telling them where people were, trying to explain the game, and they just sit there with nothing. And as soon as cutscene kicked on, they just look at me and speak. And it drove me mad.
Oh my god, I would choke them out right in front. If they were right in front of me, they'd get it instant choked. RKO'd right through the coffee table. All right, let's see. Lethal Terminus says, "Speaking of grunts, there's a grunt in lore called Stalt that was as tall as an elite and beat a Spartan so bad that the Spartan had to retreat." There you go. So there are some epic grunts out there, Terry, for you to play as. Of course, the most
missed
infamous
opportunity,
grunt,
man. Missed
the most
opportunity.
infamous grunt coming from Halo Wars 2. What was his name? Oh god,
Yap
his
Yap.
name escapes me. Yap Yap
Was
the
it Yap?
Destroyer. Yeah, Yap Yap the Destroyer. Yes, Yap Yap the Destroyer. Technically, he's dead already, but they can bring him back. I think they can retcon that. He's dead already because he was part of the Grunt Rebellion. So yeah, Yap Yap the Destroyer was awesome. Yeah, so that's what we have in Halo news for today, and Terry's favorite topic, Halo, of course. Absolute favorite. We heard it here first. Scrumness, do you want to do your weekly releases?
Yeah, let's see. Because there's really like one I want to talk about, and the rest just like, okay, we can.
Hey, even better. All right, here you go. Release Spotlight with Grunt Nerds. We need to make you an intro. Can we make it all stick figures? I want to do a
Yeah,
stick
go
figure.
for it. I'm all about it. Okay, so if you can see my screen right now, I have it on GamePassCounter.com. So, Livingstone, The Last Stop, FIFA 20, Jurassic World Evolution, so and MotoGP 20. So a lot of this stuff is MotoGP 20. I mean, FIFA 20. It's gonna come back because here's some of the things we've already seen. If I pull up the Xbox thing, FIFA 2022 is on, so you can be able to check it out. Naraka, that's Blade Point. That's the game that came out. That is the BR game with swords and magic and fighting. So a lot of people have been trying that out and seeing how well that's been played. Far Cry 5. This is the one that I definitely want to touch on and be able to jump on as soon as I can. It's Ubisoft, so I know Coolcat Terri's like, yay. And I love the Far Cry game. So if you never had a chance to get on Far Cry 5, you're interested about it, you want to play in the woods against this crazy cult leader who wants to take over this town and just go through and take them out, shoot them up. Far Cry 5 is in Game Pass to check out as soon as possible. It's already there. Check it out. So once again, we're at GamePassCounter.com. Assassin's Creed Origins, I went over last week for the people who weren't here last week. That was a good one. That was in there. Ayuden Chronicles. Anything you want to think of. If you hadn't gone in and played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder Revenge, what are you doing with yourself?
Yeah.
It's great. It's fantastic. The replayability is ridiculous. You can play 6 co-op, you can play 4 co-op, you can play 2 co-op, whatever you want to do, or just play by yourself. I played through a couple on. I even got a diamond achievement the other day. On that diamond achievement, I played as Master Splinter, and me playing Master Splinter ended up beating the Rat King, and I got an achievement for the Rat King losing the Master Splinter. So that was pretty cool too.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, so it's a diamond achievement. I don't know if it still is, but I think I'm gonna go through and play as April O'Neil next. So we'll see how that goes. And then what else would I want to stick out? Oh yeah, Sniper Elite 5. If you hadn't had a chance to play Sniper Elite 5, do that as soon as possible as well. It's a good game. If you've ever played any of the games before, it's a little bit of the same, but it's the visuals are a lot better. I'm enjoying the gameplay. Yes, you're shooting Nazis as usual. Take out Nazis. Everybody likes to take out Nazis. So, and that's all I have for Game Pass right now. Like I said, we'll have a couple of stuff that is coming. As Dusk Falls, Escape Academy. I don't know how big those are on your list, but I know As Dusk Falls, a lot of people have been waiting for that to come out, and they've been showing a lot of that on the recent Xbox shows. So check that out if you have. And that's all I have for Game Pass stuff for right now.
I will say I will be playing House Flipper tomorrow during my show because I'm really excited for that.
House
That
Flipper?
game's fun.
Yeah,
That game
I
is
saw
so
a
much
trailer
fun.
for that. I
It's
don't know anything
fun.
about it.
I know very little about it. I'm going to go in blind tomorrow for my Xbox Ambassador show.
It's one of those games where it's simplistic, but it's a great time killer. Like it's fun. I played it on my Switch. I enjoyed it. So
There's a
I've
game
seen a
called
lot of
House
people
Flipper.
having fun with it, and I figured, hey,
Yeah, I've seen
why
the
not?
trailers for it. Yeah, and I was like, "This is a game. This really is a game."
you all you do is you go in and you got to clean up the place and make it look decorate how you want and move on to the next one. But it's a good time.
So you get
I
to do
flipped
shoddy
several
work,
houses, so I want to see.
Shoddy work. I mean, I guess if you want,
like a
if you
really
want to,
flipper,
if you want to power
ice.
wash. If you want to power wash it and just do peaks everywhere, go for it.
Do you have Joanna Gaines on there telling you she wants Subway tile? Always Subway tile.
Always Subway tile.
She does good work though. I like her. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Gina, did I let you speak on the Halo topic? I can't remember if I did or didn't.
It's probably best not to let me speak on Halo. We'll be here all day. So
Oh, well, that's
yeah.
I
You
should
did
have
you did
let
ask. I said about I'd heard about the 800 meters and the thousands and
That's
what
right.
have
That's
you.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Okay.
have time. I mean,
Yeah, we got
we will
time.
look.
Might be a short show. Fun fact: Lethal Terminus is still on Halo. And fun fact about Yap Yap, the Destroyer, he's over 120 years old, which is weird for a grunt because they have relatively short lifespans, which is why they can reproduce fast, like insects almost. So they have relatively short lifespan. So that is
Bullets tend to
interesting.
do that. You know,
What?
bullets tend to do that when you're constantly getting shot at. You know?
The reason why they're expendable is because they can reproduce much faster than any other race
They're meant
in
to
the
be
Halo.
they're meant to be the throwaway troops. They're the Zerglings of Halo. You know.
Oh, let me tell you, the Yap Yap was not throwaway. Like
No, but in general, the grunts are meant to be,
they
the
are.
disposable
And it's
troops.
really funny in the lore. The reason Yap Yap the Destroyer became so infamous is because he was part of the Grunt Rebellion. This happened on High Charity back before Halo 3, before Halo 2, all that stuff, right? Probably before Master Chief. And it was because they were being used as expendable troops that they rebelled against the Covenant. So yeah,
So he was basically the grunts version of Spartacus. Okay,
really he
so-
was. He was the William Wallace of the grunts, you know. So he's battle tested. He's won against elites. He's strategist. I have a lot. Yap Yap is by far my favorite grunt. So yeah, and because who wants to be used as bullet, throwaway? Another fun fact. That's why we got Atriox. He was also intended to be used as expendable. And look what happened with that.
Seems like they rehashed the story. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's funny because I know that Atriox does not use the grunts as throwaways, and that's why they like him a lot because he actually respects them. So yeah, there you go. Let's see. Jesse Darby says, I got disconnected on Naraka when I came back, I got a warning and a 300 reputation taken from me. Uninstalled it.
Oh.
Yeah, that might do it. And when I played League, when I used to play League, actually, I'm not going to say used to, I still play League, and I get a penalty for something that is not my fault, oh man, I get angry. So yeah, there should be ways to counter report that. I agree with you, Pixel Slapper. Jesse Darby says, I beat it and I want to go through it co-op. I'm going to assume he's talking about Halo. Who doesn't? By the way, if anybody needs a co-op partner and you can't find one and you see me online, hit me up. I'll probably play with you.
I would too. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Let's see. Yap Yap and the Banished became well known because he found the Prophet of Truth's crown on the Ark and wore it, and it became a symbol for the grunts. Yeah, I remember that. Yap Yap has the crown. So yeah, let's move on to our last and final topic. Short show today. Sorry about that, Gina.
I could do with some sleep, so I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Come on, Gina, you sure you don't want to go for another 3-4 hours? We could,
I say I want to get sleep. My wife just messaged me saying, "Can you boil some potatoes for me and do this?" And also, we need to go see a niece when I get back because my brother's had a baby and I haven't been to see her yet. And it's like, yeah, sure, today's the day to get stuff out the way.
Screw your stream and your sleep schedule. You're married now, sucker. You're home? Oh, good. Honey, you're home.
Mm-hmm.
Who hasn't had those talks, right? All right, here we go. So our last topic of the day is a little more side topic-ish, but it is a fun topic in my opinion. There was an opinion piece written on Game Central called "Retro Video Games Are a Waste of Everyone's Time and Money."
Spicy.
Terri, you brought this topic. I feel like you brought this topic on to get under my skin.
Oh, I know. We have a lot of retro gamers, both on the panel as well as in the for the viewers. So I know that this was definitely going to be a hot topic that was going to get people like, what? What'd they say? So yeah. So this is a spicy one for sure.
All right, Terri. Let's let you summarize this and get started.
Oh boy. So I didn't read the whole article because I started listening to this man speak in the article, and the more he talked, the less I wanted to listen. So I didn't even get through the whole thing. But basically, he was going on about how, at first he thought it was, retro gaming was great, and then, the whole PlayStation thing with backwards compatibility and stuff happened, and then he was like, yeah, you know what, we don't really need it. And then, Xbox had their backwards compatibility and stuff, and I don't know. Basically, he goes on about how it's one of those things that people always clamor for and want, but then people don't really play it, and so it's a so that's again, opinion piece. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion on this. Retro gaming is still pretty popular. A lot of us, I mean, if it wasn't popular, we wouldn't be getting all these remakes and remasters. I mean, hello. So backwards compatibility for me is still really big. I'm literally playing. I'm really close to the end. I'm playing a 360 game right now. And I'm close to the end. It was my indie spotlight last week. So I still use the backwards compatibility because there were a lot of games that I didn't play at the time. Back during the 360 period, for an example, I was in college. Okay, I didn't have time for gaming. I was too busy studying and doing huge freaking projects and working a full-time job at the same time. So I missed out on a lot of stuff for that generation. So, I mean, I still go back and check this stuff out. I don't see it as a waste, especially when you can get these games so cheap. So I can't really say it's a waste of money. When you have someone like Scrub, dropping $100 on a game and then it doesn't live up to expectations. I could go drop $5 on a 360 game and have a good time. So,
sorry, Scrub.
Wow, so
shade. You're choosing violence today.
So to each their own. So I mean, and everyone. Value is going to be different for each individual, so you really can't go and speak for everybody when you say that, the thing is going to be a waste of money, because everybody has a different value on what is too much, based on, how they live and how much they make and whatever, what their budget is. So you can't go and say, well, if I'm dropping $60 on a game, that it's a waste of money, because, some people that's not, so you can't go and summarize it for the whole population. But I mean, I just, like I said, I couldn't get to the whole article. This guy was just, I don't even know who wrote it. I can't even see the person's name. He probably hid it for good reason.
It was a reader's feature. It wasn't a writer for Game Central. It was a reader.
So he was, So somebody else made a comment, and then he started in his article. He started agreeing with the person, and I'm just like, I can't with this. So, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. Retro gaming, it's one of those things where I could agree that maybe the younger generation of gamer isn't going to be interested in going back and playing Pac-Man or Asteroids or even an original Xbox game. I mean, you know what I mean? But at the same time, those games aren't really for them anyway, because they're all they can be caring about is Roblox and Minecraft and Call of Duty. So let them play what they like. The older gamer, we're the ones that we really enjoy these games. And it's more than just nostalgia, because like I said, I've gone back and I've played games I've never played during that time, and I'm enjoying them. So it's not, I have no nostalgia for those games. It's literally me just going back and trying to enjoy games I missed out on. I don't go back and play games I've already played. I've already played them. I have no interest in playing Perfect Dark for the 1,000th time. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and I always pick out games that I've never played before. And that's how I capitalize my value for backwards compatibility in retro gaming. I'm not playing the stuff I played.
All right. There you go, guys. So this guy got it.
By the way, thank you, Gina. I can now not see anything but that stupid ad, okay? Wow.
I don't even know how to read it. It's missing commas.
An ad on the site has blown my mind. All right, Gina, let's try to stay focused on the article on hand, okay? All right, so let me read some of this article to you guys. So retro video games is a waste of everybody's time and money. Blah, 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 PS Plus, nostalgia, And in terms, here we go. in terms of remasters and remakes, well, it's obvious that why companies do that. Remasters are cheap, and remakes have built-in audience that ensure the game will always be a hit, at least to a certain degree, right? In other words, retro means easy money, minimum effort, which is the perfect combination for certain companies, as he calls it. He said, selling a new idea and IP is always more difficult than one that already exists, and yet rather than trying to figure out a cost-effective way to do this, publishers are just busy working out ways to rehash existing games even more than they already have. Tradition is such a damaging concept to innovation. I think it's time, and I think it's time this came to a head with the Starfield reveal recently, where everyone was let down by how similar the game still seemed to be to the ancient Skyrim. I don't know what kind of Skyrim he was playing, but it's not much like
Yeah,
Starfield.
and
Just-
that statement right there kind of shows you where this guy's coming from.
Yeah.
I got a question. What does any of this have to do with back compatibility? He starts off with
he's
back
talking about retro
compatibility
games. Oh,
and retro games when your real problem is remakes and remasters.
mhm.
That's your real problem. Don't jump on back compatibility. That has nothing to do with remakes and remasters. Like
That's right.
Terry said, that has to do with people who want to play their old games. It's also keeping these games alive for posterity's sake. And then to be able for people who've never played the game before, or maybe there's a co-op game that you can play with your friends, but remakes and remasters have nothing to do with back compatibility. Nothing. It seems like you went on a rant and you just started going through the woods. You started off with this, but your real problem is remakes and remasters. And it sounds like your real problem is remakes and remasters. I'm not trying to make this a console war thing, but you jumped on Xbox for back compatibility, but then you go to PlayStation because of remakes and remasters, which they have been doing. And I have purchased them, so I can't complain. But yeah, I have The Last of Us, the collector's edition that they put out for 4. And then guess what? They're doing it again for the PS5. When I get the PS5, will I probably do it just to see what it looks like? Maybe so. And yes, this is taking money away. This is taking time away from people who want to be able to play these games. But guess what? They did a great remaster or a remake for Turtles. It's a brand new game and it's fun. It's nostalgia. Obviously, people like these old style games because it wouldn't sell. And guess what? What were some of the first games you ever played on a console? They were side scrollers. How many brand new side scrolling games come out every year and people eat them up? Obviously, it's a set situation that people love to do. Look at these 8-bit side scrollers that are about to come out in the next year or so that people are so hyped for. Replaced last night. People like this stuff. Sometimes you want to go back and enjoy something that brings memories back. But if somebody can take an old style and make it better, like they're doing, it got an 8-bit look, but the visuals are incredible. They make
Color
3D.
palette is much more diverse.
Yes, the 3D. If that was the case, you wouldn't have musicians sampling old songs and putting it in their new music, or taking an old song and redo it. Everything has been done before at some point. There are no new stories. New stories have a piece of inspiration from something else. And to sit there and just jump on these games and say, nobody wants to play old games. We've heard that before, Jim Ryan, and you see how that changed real quick. Yeah. So it's, yes, remakes and remasters do that, but some companies, that's what they're doing right now. And yes, it takes away from new. Yes, it will stagnate a process because you're not putting resources into new. But do not jump on this back compat or being able to have these old games for people to play. I just think it's his whole talk is misguided because it's going through all these different things. You're
Yeah.
fighting against yourself on some
and
of
then
this
the
stuff.
other end of it was he went all that way, all around that stuff just to slam on Starfield, which you said you didn't want to get in the console war thing, but it really seemed that was his whole point. It was, if you really read it, that was his whole thing. It's like, really, dude, what's that have to do with anything? Starfield's not a remake, a remaster, or anything, but
right.
yet you had to bring it in there and say, well, it kind of looks like this. So what?
Oh, maybe because it was exclusive. Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
that's
yeah. There it
maybe why.
is.
Oh my, getting salty up in here. Gina, what are your thoughts on retro games? Are they a waste of your time and money?
I don't do them as much as I should, but I've recently been playing through Ninja Gaiden again. So I love it. And when you put that website up, it had Full Spectrum Warrior on there, and I used to love that game, and just seeing the image of it has made me want to go back and play that again. So I think the ability to be able to do it is amazing. I don't see people's problem with it. I just don't get why you would be upset about having access to old. It's like not like this is something new. Like you can have access to old versions and then have the remakes. Like in Hollywood, when they remake Blade Runner, they don't then make it so you can't watch the old Blade Runner. Like you don't bother with that anymore. There's a new version for you. Like you can still go back and watch the better, the old versions, etc. Like RoboCop, etc. So I just don't get this guy's. I'm like Scrubness. I don't get this guy's problem. You can keep remaking games, and if you're unhappy with that, don't buy the remakes. You've got the old versions. But then if your whole article is a headline that you don't like the old retro versions, but then you don't like the new versions, then what does he want? Does he just not want? Is he one of those people who doesn't play games because they're old? Like if once it's been out for 3 months, that game's dead to him, and you move on to the next game. I find it quite nice to go back to some of the OG Xbox and early 360 games because, like, I play Halo, Fortnite, some single player games now, and as soon as you turn them on, there's like the page has to load, and there's a storefront, and then this is the news for today, and this is what's happening. And thing whereas you chuck on an OG Xbox game, and it's just a logo that says Xbox, normally 1 or 2 company logos, and you're in the game, and there's nothing. It just wants you to play a single player game. It doesn't advertise. It's not trying to sell you add-ons. It's simple, and yeah, it's nice.
So looking at the picture, I wonder if this guy's going to play the new KOTOR when it comes out for the PlayStation. Because
he will. It sounds like to me, it sounds like I'm tired of PlayStation putting out these remake and remasters. I want PlayStation to put out some new console games for me to play, and quit making remakes and remasters. Use your money to make a new game. To me, that's what I hear when I read it.
All right, there you go. And by the way, guys, speaking of ads, Paul, this ad's for you. Restore your leather in 3 minutes. You can even make it your nightly routine.
I thought it was going to be the Trump wall ad I saw pop up there.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
so
glad
funny
this
that,
stuff is on your
live in-
PC because you're the one that's going to get fed all this stuff now. So
Hey.
you're going to learn
I
how to
live in
empty your
Texas.
bowels
You
every morning.
can't help but be advertised those things. They're like, oh, this guy lives there. He must want this stuff. No. So I took issue with everything this guy said in his article because I love my retro games. Right? I love backwards compatibility. I've spent thousands of dollars, maybe at this point, tens of thousands of dollars over my lifetime collecting.
Wait, I'm ready to hear your wife go, you what?
Wait, who's spending money now? Who's spending money now?
Thousands. My wife has been there when I bought some of these expensive games. She knew what she was getting into. When I told her I had lots of money
He also spent
invested.
thousands on soundproofing. Just to make sure.
It's so funny. Like there's a meme. It's like, oh, this lady walks in and she dates this guy. She's like, oh, I thought you told me you had lots of money invested. And the guy goes, yeah, in my Nintendo collection. That's totally me. But yeah, at this point I have probably spent tens of thousands of dollars in my lifetime collecting retro video games. Some more rare than others. Some of them I collected because, hey, I played it as a kid. I just want it back in my collection. Or, hey, I rented this game once, never finished it. I want to play it. And I have all the consoles from Nintendo, from Xbox, from PlayStation, from Sega. I got them all. So no Atari consoles though, guys. Sorry, I don't go back that far. And
You calling me old, aren't you? Yeah,
I'm
I
just
saw
saying
that,
I don't
yeah.
collect Atari. That's all I'm saying. The whole idea of retro collecting, I love it. I love displaying my collection. I love looking at it. I love randomly, especially when like one of my old friends or my cousin comes over. Instead of playing the brand new shiny Xbox, we'll go into my retro room and pull out one of these retro games and play. Like we were playing Mega Bomberman on the Sega Genesis last time, and we were laughing our butts off till 2 o'clock in the morning. It was a lot of fun. There's just something about pulling out, having that game there, and just putting the cartridge in and playing like you used to when you were younger. Yeah, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. I get it. But Xbox did backwards compatibility with games you already own on their library for their own library preservation, which I applaud. And then they do the FPS boost on it. They upscaled a lot of them. They did auto HD on them, basically doing remastering for free. That Xbox has spoiled me on that to the point where I will not buy a remake. Like I just will not buy a remake. What's that remake that is coming out soon that interested me? Oh, whatever. So like something like Crazy Taxi remake, right? That's a game I played. Me and my brother have very fond memories of Crazy Taxi, but I will not buy Crazy Taxi remake because again, I think it should just work. Like Sega should put out a backwards compatible console that just is backwards compatible with everything. Because I have the original Crazy Taxi right here, and this one plays just as good as I remember on the Dreamcast controller. I don't need a remake. Sorry, a remaster. But like a from the ground up remake, like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 did, and Final Fantasy 7, where it takes the concept of the old game, modernizing it completely, brand new assets, maybe some more story clarification, brand new voice acting, all that good stuff. I'll buy those remakes. I will. I know what the story's supposed to be. I know how Final Fantasy 7 ends. I know how Resident Evil 2 ends. You're not going to surprise me, but it's still fun to play those games in a new way. So real remakes, I will play. Remaster style remakes, I will not. So yeah, that's just the way I did it. I think about this, and this whole article is just. I can see his point where it takes resources away from newer stuff, but I've said before, 90% of video companies
the teams
go
that usually work on
under.
those things are very small. Let me just say, the teams that usually work on that side of things is usually very small. They're not taking resources away from anything. If anything,
Right.
it's giving people something to do. It's like seriously.
Right. And going after a cash grab, a cash cow. Every company has a cash cow, right? Activision Blizzard has World of Warcraft and Call of Duty. You think
GTA.
all that money
GTA was where my head went. Yeah.
Yeah. You think all that money's going back into World of Warcraft or all that money's going back into GTA? No, it's going into Bobby Kotick's bonus. Okay? I'm kidding. Obviously,
And we
it's feeding
circle
other
back.
Touchy subject, yes. And we're back.
It's feeding other people's. It's feeding other projects. So, some companies, their cash cow is their older games. When you can do a quick money grab to help fund the rest of your projects with minimal effort or not as much effort, then yeah, why not? If it helps fund your studio for another year or two, if it helps you keep a job for another year or two, I think that's good. And, not only that, but gamers, us, we get what we like. We get some of these nostalgic trips. Maybe, oh man, my kid won't play Crazy Taxi with me on the Dreamcast, but he'll play it with me on the Xbox. So let me get the remake out. Stuff like that. So I see his argument, but at the same time, I feel like his argument has no weight, no real weight, other than personal opinion, as he said. So that is where I fall on that thing, because I'm still going to keep retro collecting. Sorry, wife, I'm going to keep spending thousands of dollars. Sorry, not sorry. So,
There's also the thing in the article. He blames the companies for making them because they're easy money, but
Yeah.
he doesn't account for the fact that the gamers are asking for them literally today. Without even bringing up this topic, Paul had brought up Splinter Cell because it's the gamers want these things to keep coming back.
That's right.
That's why Nintendo has never taken a break from Mario because it works.
That's right. That's right. Mario's the GOAT.
And they will release it again next year and make you buy it again next year. So there you go.
No, it's so funny. Everybody thinks that, like, oh, what are we on Mario 57 or whatever? But when you really think about it, right, there hasn't been that many mainline Mario games.
No. It's like every single one's a spin-off. And then there's spin-offs of the spin-offs.
And then when they ran out of ideas for you, they made a Mario creator so you can make your own Mario game.
Hey man, don't bash that Mario creator. It's so entertaining to watch these. I don't know if you've watched streamers play through some of the hardest levels.
It. Oh yeah,
skills.
They make levels that I would never even attempt in my life. Like no,
I wouldn't even imagine that level, much less anything like that. So yeah, let's go. Let's join Back from the Dead joins us real quick. Jason Max says, just remember Xbox is #1, and Ice Queen Gaming joins us. Hey, Ice Queen Gaming, where did she go? Here she is. Joins us. Thank you so much for stopping by. Back from the Dead, no Intellivision. No Intellivision. Although it's funny you say that. I first played Burger Time on an Intellivision at a convention, and ever since then I have wanted my own Burger Time cabinet. For some reason Burger Time is so entertaining to me. It's my favorite.
A lot of time
super retro
Burger
game
Time
right
in the supermarket. Yes.
Did you play Crazy Taxi in the arcade like I did? I did, but I got to tell you, I discovered a lot more on how to play on my Dreamcast because it didn't cost me money than in the arcade. Like I never knew you could speed boost as soon as you picked someone up. Like make the taxi do a wheelie. And just pick up immediate speed. At the arcade, I would just hit the gas and eventually, I didn't know you could boost until I got it on Dreamcast.
A lot of the racing themed arcade games, you had to pump the gas pedal to do different things. Even the Fast and the Furious one did that.
Well, on Crazy Taxi, it was different because you had to go from park to drive and double pedal all at the same time. It was like a little skill set. And in the arcade, you had to do the shifter, so it was fun. I never got it to work on the arcade even after I discovered it. Let's see. Don't forget that Activision owns Candy Crush. That makes more money than all of them that you just said, Axel. Absolutely. Candy Crush, the cash cows, all this stuff. All of them feeding to Bobby Kotick's $200 million bonus this year.
King, baby. It's all about the king.
Right. And my wife goes, over my comments. I'm in trouble after this show, guys.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Burger Time is awesome. It sure is, Doggy Dog. By the way, if you want to see a sweet barcade, Doggy Dog has some videos on his Twitter showing off his arcade.
Oh, it's
bar.
awesome.
Oh, man. It makes me want to go visit just to play it. By the way, Doggy, I don't bring quarters. You're going to have to do the little override so I don't have to pay quarters.
You got to pay admission, yeah.
I'll do a cover fee. That's going to do it for today's show. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. As always, guys, you could have spent your time talking. Wait a minute. Gina, did we let you talk on this? We did, right? Yeah. Why do I keep forgetting?
Gina, you still awake over there? Blink, Gina. There you go.
In the home stretch. I'm
just trying to make, because usually I do it in order, and today I kind of jumped all over the place, so I just want to make sure I didn't skip you. All right. Sorry about that.
Before you close the show, I normally don't do stuff, but this month is Accessibility Pride or Disability Pride Month. I'm going to put a link in the chat. We'll give you information. It is actually something that started back in 1990 when the ADA was signed into law, and it was first officially acknowledged in 2015, I think. But Xbox is going to be doing things this month, as well as the Xbox ambassadors, to acknowledge Accessibility Pride. We're just trying to get, information out there. Everybody else has a Pride Month, so we needed our own too. No. So let me just grab that real quick and throw that in the chat. And just read up on the article and, like I said, Xbox is going to be doing some things. We're hoping some of the other industries kind of acknowledge that it's out there, because the I forget what the number was they gave us last week at Summit, but the number of disabled gamers has skyrocketed, and a lot of it has to do with it's going to be a long link. A lot of it has to do with COVID and everything, getting into gaming. But so yes, what am I gonna say? So yeah, we're just out there, support us, help us, be kind to us, type of thing, and thank you. That's it. That's all. Sorry.
Right. Let's get out of here. Let's get with Scrub Nurse first because I know he has to get going. Scrub, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on Xbox at Scrub Space Nurse. Also Twitter, Scrub Nurse 3. You always find me here on Sunday. Not always, I won't say that, but most Sundays here. And then check out my crew on Gaming Beyond the Box on Wednesdays. And then also we'll have a special guest on Xbox Hot Party podcast on Tuesday, which is me. We're going to have some fun. So yeah, if you get a chance to check it out, even on the replay, come and have some good times with us, get in the chat. And I think it's going to be an awesome time. And definitely want to thank Jenna for coming out and hanging with us. I know it's been a long day and a half, but we appreciate you spending time with us and having a good time and goofing off like we like to do. And just enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. And coming from an OR nurse, please, which I know you're going to do it anyway, do not light your fireworks in your hand. Please do not light your fireworks and throw them. Roman candles too. And then if you're in a place where everything is dry, there's no water, please water everything, the lawn, the ground, and everything before you pop your fireworks, because I've seen so many missing fingers, broken teeth, eyes been put out. It's just nasty. Just be careful. Have fun. Be careful. And enjoy yourself. And we'll see y'all on next Sunday.
All right. See you, everybody. All right. Scrub Nurse, thank you so much. Paul, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me at Twitter, Cerebral Paul 1, Twitch or YouTube at Cerebral Paul. On the Xbox Ambassadors channel at Twitch at twitch.tv/Xbox Ambassadors on Monday afternoons or Monday mornings, PST, 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. EST or 5 p.m. Or is it 6 p.m.? I don't know. Somewhere in the GMT, that area. I can't do math today. It's too early. And that's about it.
All right. And of course, our special guest, the Gina, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yes, I'm on Twitter under the Gina Gaming. I'm on XBL Party Podcast on YouTube. Like Axel was saying, we're having a bit of a crossover at the moment with Good Morning Xbox, where every Tuesday I'll be there for Scrub Nurse. Unfortunately, I miss Shaddai, and I'm away when Terry's on as well, because I'm in Italy, so I'm out of the country. But yeah, every Tuesday, I don't know what time it is in the States, I'm useless, but it's 8 p.m. GMT that is on.
And don't forget to be sure to pay Gina a visit on his charity. As long as the link is open, be sure to donate a little bit. It's for a good cause. And help them out, guys. Everybody.
Thanks.
All right. And again, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for
Coolcat
having me.
Terri. Let the people know where they can find you.
Or you can go ahead and you can find me on Twitter at Coolcat_Terri. You can get all the insight on a whole bunch of different indie games that I keep my eye on. You can also find me on Twitch Monday through Wednesdays, 6 p.m. to about 10 p.m. time. The name is just like you see it here. You can also check out my YouTube. I have Instagram. I'm all over the place. Check it all out. And yeah, thank you guys. And I also want to add to what Scrub was saying, don't shoot your fireworks at each other. I've seen so many stupid videos of people thinking it's hilarious to shoot bottle rockets at family members and friends. Stop doing that crap. All right, moving on.
Certainly don't shoot them out of your butt.
But if you do, make sure you record it because we do want to see how stupid you are.
The Darwin
All right.
Awards are real. Yeah.
That's right.
All right, guys. And as always, I'm your host here, not only of Good Morning Xbox, but I'm also the host of the Iconic Video Games Podcast Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern every Friday. You can find me here, Axel1324 Gaming. You can find me on Xbox and on Twitter, just Axel1324, how you see it right here. As always, guys, thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. You could have spent your Sunday morning doing anything else, but you chose to spend it with us. And for that, I am very grateful. And that's why you, the chat, will always be the MVP of any of the shows I'm doing, guys. And with all that, have a happy and safe 4th of July. If you celebrate it, I know that Gino doesn't, although he should. Just cause.
They celebrated as the day they kicked all those creeps out of the country.
That's right. And yeah, I think that's it for the show. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.